Okay. I like doing videos. And the more you listen, I think one thing you'll get from this is that I like to think a lot. To not just think, overthink a ton. And in many ways, it stops me from doing actions that most people would think are very normal and shouldn't take much willpower. But for me, thinking about all the ways it can affect things, it takes a lot of willpower for me. Um, in my overthinking, I've come across this problem I feel like I've run into. You hear it a lot from older children or single black moms in movies. They talk about the unreliable black man, the typical unreliable black man. Um, they promise things, they don't deliver. People want them around. They often aren't, especially for big occasions like Christmas, birthdays, Thanksgiving, things that are super important for people. When they do show up, they often do grandiose gestures, but they aren't there for the daily routine. And usually, as the black woman, they have to be there to pick up the pieces when the black man promises something and then just doesn't deliver. And oftentimes they feel like they're the bad guy because the black man will come in and show all these like grandiose gifts and have all these nice efforts, and maybe that's just not good for the kids at the time. So the mom will then have to either take it away or reprimand or do whatever, and then she ends up looking like the bad guy. When if you really look at it, and I think kids figure this out when they get older, the entire time the mom was there like way longer, right? And she was there when you came home, she was there to cook you breakfast, etc. And the black man, well, he came by when it was convenient. Obviously this isn't all situations, but this is just like the typical like stereotype, I guess. My cousin and I have been joking about this, and even though we joke, I take it very seriously because I feel like I'm becoming that. I've made many promises, and I either forgotten or just like haven't lived up to them. I made a thing of like, how am I different? How am I the same? How am I different? I don't do grandiose gestures. I'm not living up to expectations because I'm trying to create a better AOE. Creating this better AOE does a lot to my mental, and I prefer to stay away. And then that got me thinking, what could be the reasons that other people decide not to stay away? Because obviously, even though it's a stereotype, there's a bit of truthfulness to it. So, what could be the reason that what could be the typical reason? What could be the reason that other black men don't stay? Um, One was, I thought, work, just busy with work, maybe trauma. Maybe they didn't have their dad either, so they're not sure how to handle being around children. I have no idea really. Stress, maybe family problems. You never know. Or they could just have different priorities. And different priorities isn't really like, all of these things aren't to excuse it, but just to give a reason why, right? The different priorities could be he might like to go gambling more than spending time with his kids, right? Or the different priorities could be, I'm trying to think of a better, I don't know. Obviously, this is case by case, right? Not all moms are the best and are willing to let the kids see their dad, but not all dads are willing to give the effort. Just like how in child courts, the one stat is always like, yeah, well, when men do it, they don't get it nearly half as much, right? And then you realize the type of like environment, like the context that needs to be put in. Um, I don't think most men want that responsibility or ask for it. And I think it's just on the whole, when the ones that do really want to, you should really be more upset at other men that don't put in more of an effort to get their kids. Like, I promise you, if there was a societal shift of every court case a judge saw, the man was like, "Yo, I want to be in my kid's life. I want to be in my kid's life." Right? I think it would probably get a little bit more back to the median. And of course, I'm saying this with knowing like nothing. Could probably do more research on this, and I'll like send stuff. But from the research I've seen other people bring up, it's just like you put these here with absolutely no context. And while for those men who do care, see their family a lot, I applaud you, and I feel bad that you can't. But or I feel bad that the system is kind of weighed against you. But I throw more fault on men rather than women. How am I the same? I don't live up to promises that I make. Either I don't live up to them or forget them. I'm not around. I didn't go to Christmas or Thanksgiving for the reasons I stated before. And this is like the big part. What are the consequences, right? I strain my relationship with the younger ones that rely on me and want to see me. Once I accomplish my goals, I have to build the relationship up again. And there's no guarantee I'll be able to build it as fast or make it as strong as I would like, since they remember when I wasn't there for as many years as it's been, I guess. And then the solution: stop making promises or live up to the promises that you make. I'm convinced since I've accomplished my goals and college is almost done, I have more time to spend with them that'll fix things. But I don't know where I'll live after. I do want to, I've given myself a year. Maybe I'll extend it to 2 years, but a year or 2 years just to see them and be around like my family members. Um, just to see them grow. But I don't want to go, I don't want to stay in this state that I've been born in anymore. I really want to leave. And I guess I could say where I want to go. I'd preferably like to go to somewhere in Tennessee because of Justin J. Pearson, that congressional guy over there. I would like to that's been my first kind of like felt as though like my calling, right? Something that pulls me a little bit more than the rest does. Volunteering for him, and maybe trying to get him to win the presidency or a Senate seat might be fun. I think he has a Senate seat, but I guess continue? Huh. But no matter where I live, I have to take planes back to see them for special events, right? And then, especially if I want to live somewhere else outside of the United States, I have to take a longer plane all the way back to see them for special events, right? And I know for those, people usually then like visit every other year or every other like big event, right? Or will show up to like a birthday or something. But I feel like that puts even more stress. So there's like two things I have to balance there, obviously. Wanting to be there every day, but I also want to trailblaze. Um, I want to make a place for myself and memories for myself away from where I was born, new memories. As much as building this healthy AOE is very important to me, right? Um, because I need a base before I can do anything else. If I do want to have children and I decide to have kids, right? There has to be someone I can bring back and be like, oh, this is where I've been from. There has to be someone I can bring and show my wife's like dad, like, yo, these are kind of the people that I feel like represent me and that I've been around. And I especially can't do that if it's like I could bring in my grandma and show my grandma or show my grandpa, and I promise you, they are great people. People. They're very charismatic. If you're talking to them, you think like greatly of them, but you'll never understand how it feels to live with them, and me not making a healthy AOE. What type of what does that show to my kids? I think me having this story to be able to tell them and even tell my wife shows that this is a priority for me, right? Obviously, like I said in the beginning, I overthink things a lot. And when I say this entire thing, when I see like the typical black man, I've compared them to like it's like a father child relationship, right? These are my cousins I'm talking about. These are my like aunties I'm talking about, right? Struggling with that bond. This is my sister I'm talking about, which I guess kind of counts, but the pressure I'm putting on myself might be too great. But I think if you put anyone in this situation, they'd have a hard time picking between their sister and then forming like a new life for themselves. Because I probably talked about this before, but I have no idea what I want to do. I'm just pushing or walking in whichever place gives me the most urge. Reckless. But I feel confident that I'll figure it out. I think I have a good trait in attracting the people that are not terrible. All the friends that I've kept and that I have, I feel like are very decent people that I would want in my life. And I feel very confident that no matter where I would go, I would attract good people as well. And I would be able to know, or I'd be able to parse through bad people because of the fact that I focus on quality rather than quantity. But as I said before, striving for that quality over quantity, there's a very lonely road. So whenever I did want to branch out and trailblaze, the beginning of that would be a very lonely road. Just stuff to think about. Stay safe. Don't die. It's Mars. Ice cream, by the way. But, okay. Literally, none of you ever get this far into the video. So at this point, I'm just yapping, right? Which is chill or whatever. But like, if you get here, put a 1 in the comment. That'd be sick. Or go to stream and put a 1 on the stream. Baiting engagement. Giga Chad. Okay. GG's.